Hello everyone, apologies for the last time. I finally did manage to work out what I was trying to do with the levers, and it turns out I was massively overcomplicating it. It was basically as simple as, with the numbers, it's literally lever number 2, lever number 1, lever number 3. So in this case, lever number 2 would come down, 1, 3, and then back up and so forth. So yeah, turns out I was just basically overthinking it massively, and we unlocked the box, and now we have the boot disk that we were looking for. So we can go and use that here, I believe it was, and see what that gets us. Print. Okay. So now we have... Did it print? So we've got terminals offline, which I think are the ones behind me. Oh, okay. So we have to change these numbers to be something to do with this then, presumably. So we've got 5 digits for each of the numbers. I think what we're looking for is possibly some kind of printout. So let's try and do that and see if that helps this make sense. Right, I'm with you now. So there, it's just a case of basically matching up. It's one of these old decoders where you've got the gaps in the paper and you place them over depending on what you want the numbers to say, or what you want the output to be. So in this case, we've got, if I go back again quickly, can we... Oh, we can initialize, that was it, so I'm getting the hang of this, this terminal now. So we can initialize the server, but none of the other ones are up and running. We can check the boot log. I don't think there's anything we can actually look at in there. So, okay. So for this then, we want 81768. So 81768. Very good. So now we can go back to the terminal and just double check that is indeed doing what we think it should do. Oh, not that one. Yep, so we can see terminal 1 is online now. So we just need 2 and 3, and same process as before. This one, so 39783. Whoops, 39 that should be. So that's doing its thing. And then terminal 3 is going to be this symbol by the looks of it. At least it's the only one missing, so we can guess that it's going to be 24195. Again, I'm missing numbers. There we go, and good. So all these are rebooted. We can now go back over and initialize. and it's telling us the server is now online. So back upstairs then, hopefully we should have these doors open, but we don't know the codes for them, and presumably the one upstairs as well, but we'll need to find a code for that. And then this computer should now be accessible as well. So let's just double check. This needs a 5-digit code. Okay. So we've got this, which is now allowing us access. And we can finally control, or hopefully, the oscilloscope. And there's a little back reading to do about the eyes that are floating around. So we can probably have a look at that later on. So preliminary research, and then the various phases of research. So yep, if you want to go back and have a look at that, you're more than welcome to have a quick... Okay, we've got a corrupted. That's a shame. We can get this running. Yep, so that's now up and running. And presumably if we put in now the patterns in the oscilloscope as per the ones on the blackboard, we'll get this to work. At least that's the hope anyway. So what have we got then? Right, okay. So we've got one that's going across. Let's... Does that look... I'm not entirely sure how we're supposed to tune this in. So that looks right, and it's definitely doing something to the coil. So number 2 is this. Might need to write these down quickly and make a note of them. It doesn't seem to save the patterns in my log, I don't believe. It's got the... Oh. It's got the computer entries. Not the corrupted one, however. But it doesn't have a copy of this. So something like that. Number 2 is and then number 3. Still probably get this wrong, but it's worth a try. Right, let's see if we can get this to work then. So that was 1. Two is... Right, so we need some way then, so we can alter the frequency amplitude to get the requisite wave pattern, But we need some way, first of all, it looks like, to lock in the right pattern before we move on to the next one. So that looks like it should be pattern number 1. But there's no... Is there a clue in the notes, maybe? Let's have a quick... So this is presumably the high density material we've got on the desk next to us. And he's trying to activate it. Okay. Well, the signal is steady, the eyes seem to fluctuate. Does that mean they're going to do something different? We can observe their behavior. Oh, I see. So is this... So if we go back up, I believe he was talking about the core and giving off a yellow light, and then he also mentioned in phase 2 he's managed to generate a blue light, and we've certainly been going around and collecting those. So that's interesting. I do like it when a story ties itself together nicely. It doesn't seem to give us any hints though as to what we're trying to achieve, unless he did mention somewhere, if I'm recalling correctly. Radio interference? Did I misread? No, there we go. So now we have this tune. Does that mean the radios are doing something different now? Let's go and find the radio then. I think there was certainly ones outside this particular area. You'd think we'd be able to hear them before we see them. We think there was certainly one over this way, wasn't there? Up in the attic, I believe, which is this direction. Let's have a listen. Yep, there we go. Well, it certainly seems to be producing a lot more bands of various tones. but unfortunately nothing that sounds like it's going to be a useful hint. Still can't figure out how to get that light on so we can illuminate this picture, which we can clearly see is just there. I don't know why we can't just stumble across a couple of boxes and go get it, but there we go. So we'll go back up to the main chamber, or the experimentation room anyway. Oh, it stopped. Okay, so when you leave an area it seems to reset all the bits and pieces? Okay, did I not? Ah, I didn't have it quite right. So we're now on to phase 2 presumably, which is going to be down onto the second. There we go, we're getting there. Oh, and it's definitely becoming more energetic. So final sequence would be definitely about there, I think. Well, that's an interesting light show. Is that everything, I wonder? Oh, no, it's... Well, that's one way to open a lock, certainly. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. So that gate just basically blew open. It was also connected downstairs. I wonder if that door happened to unlock as well. No, something tells me I'll still need a code for that. What's the red button mean? Or red light? One of the connecting gates is now no longer functioning? Possibly. Well, that's pretty nice. So we have our solar system, Sol system, with the rotating planets. We've got various pictures. Some very nice music. Various pictures with, I'm guessing, the appropriate symbols. So they're some kind of extraterrestrial influence, maybe. Right, that doesn't quite help us. Activate? No. So we can't activate this just yet. And there's a key for the final puzzle piece there, presumably. Okay, what have we got then? So, yep. Oh, it's the symbols for the different planets. Like I said, if you've got a knowledge of the sort of the underlying lore this is all based upon, then I expect you'd have a much easier time of deciphering what all the bits and pieces mean. And the outer planets. This is locked. So, based on this, we've got... I'm not sure what the first one is. But it seems to me... the guy seems to think they come from Saturn. Is that the symbol for Saturn? Or was it Jupiter? I was getting the name wrong. So what's this then? That symbol doesn't seem to quite match any of the existing patterns. It looks like it links up with Uranus. Quite possibly. So we can turn these off or on again. So what happens if we turn them all off? Right, so these are all off. So that's doing nothing at the moment. Presumably we have to get these symbols correct before we activate. Well, nipping downstairs then. Now we have a number of planet clues to go on. It might be worth double checking that statue. So it could be a 6-letter. So it could be Saturn, Uranus, well, one of those. Nope, I'm guessing not. Okay, so nothing doing there then. I do feel like we should be able to extract this, maybe, and then place it in the receiver upstairs by the looks of it. If we go through the oscilloscope again, is that going to do anything a second time round? Doesn't quite look like it, unfortunately. Yep, it doesn't seem to respond to any further signals. Or at least not the ones we've established on the board. Does look like we should be able to maybe retrieve this sample though. Well, unless it's requiring some kind of key that we can place in the hexagonal space there. Can we not open this gate? I mean, we could just climb over it. But I'm guessing that's all linked up to this. Okay. And there's no further... It's just the journal. There's nothing further around the room to have a look at, apart from the individual... 1, 2, 3, 4... We have all 8, don't we? Poor old Pluto. 1, 2, 3, yep. 6, 7, 8. So there are indeed 8 symbols around the room, 8 planets then presumably. We've checked here and we've picked up the two scrolls, or 2 posters I should say. No, that doesn't. Let's go back and check the journal again. So they come from a... So we've got Jupiter. And a possible Earth. And this is the symbol for their planet? Or this is the... Okay, so is that the Sun? Or is that the Sun, and then we've got the... not Jupiter and the... or the hot Jupiter, I think it was saying. Can't quite read that text. And then the Earth. So that then would be the Earth symbol, or their Earth symbol, and we want our Earth, which is this one. Switch off these. And then the Jupiter, which is possibly that. Well, let's try activating this first of all. Not quite. But then the Jupiter is going to be the symbol that looks like an S and a 4, or a 2 and a 4, sorry. Oh, and there's something in the floorboard here. Ah. So just a little more of the backstory and a collectible. I wonder if there are any other hidden pieces around any of the other pictures then. Okay, there was a piece that looked like that downstairs, wasn't there? Might go try that in a second. I'll just have a quick look around the other pictures in case there's any other missing bits and pieces we're looking for. Well, nothing on those. And then this just looks like cobwebs and pots. That's possibly it. I'm not ruling out the possibility of more hidden bits and pieces, but I can't see it at the moment. Well, let's go downstairs and try this quickly and see what that gives us. I think it was, yeah, it was there. So we need to what? Match these up, maybe? So that would be this. It's a very small crawlway. And this is behind the... Yep, this is behind the room with the sample in it. I wonder how long he was hiding there for. So this came from the sun. You've got definitely a clue. So it looks like we've got some kind of, this would be the sun maybe, and then you've got planets in orbit. We've got another radio. I'm not getting anything from that either. We've got some more posters. Is that a code for one of the doors, maybe? I thought that was a 5-digit code, but we'll go check anyway. There really is quite a few of these Wonders of Space collectible posters. Nothing in the cupboard, just the hiding eye. No more little trinket boxes around. This looks like this should be a... Looks like the place for one, certainly. Oh, I spoke too soon. So we've got the clue from the floor, we've got the various posters which may give us a hint elsewhere, and that could be very well it. Nothing in the brickwork, I don't believe. There should have been, or I feel like there should have been something in the cupboard, but okay, well we'll take what we've... Ah, what's this? Have to set each dial to the last digit in their date of birth. Maybe it needs to be done in a certain order. That could be... well, I'm hoping that's what I'm missing with the busts in the corridor. Let's go have a quick look while we're here and get those. So it needs to be done in a certain order, and it was the date of their birth. Yeah, last digit in the date of their birth, and a certain order, presumably the chronological dates. So we've got 1100. This one was 12. This is 1902 and 1805. So we'll try in chronological order first. So we've got the number 1. Number 4. We had number... no, not this one. This one. Number 5. And finally, number 2. And that should work. Hey, it does. Excellent. Now this looks like... ah, so that's going to give us presumably the name for the statue that we're missing. It's certainly looking good. And yes. Yep, so as I thought, it's just a glowing light, and this one wants to be downstairs in the basement, or the sewer area. We actually seem to be missing quite a few of these. I wonder where the other ones are then. We still haven't figured out how to get these wheels unlocked. Well, if we now go back upstairs, we've got a poster with a code on it. Now, was this a 4 or 5-digit code for this door? It was a 4-digit code, so it could very well be 1566, I think. certainly worth a try. Excellent. Well, this is going to unlock a load of stuff by the looks of it. Looks great. We've got another one of those gem reliefs, and we have to unlock all these purple crystals, and there's various puzzles around the room then, by the looks of it, each one of which is going to unlock one of these boxes. So let's get started. Well, that seemed easy enough, no effort involved in that. So this is some kind of code, and we have to decipher what each of the individual symbols works out to. Maybe. I suspect that will come clearer in just a second. So it's going to be one of these on the piece of paper. But we're not sure which. And we could go through every single one, but that seems inefficient to say the least. Maybe we need something to place on these pads before we push the... Well, the button's lit, so... Ah, there we go. Any more around here? Oh, it's a bit of a tease. So more clues to do with those symbols. Again, 3 inputs there. Some more reading to be done, I suspect, absolutely. So we just need a third and final plane then. And hopefully it's not locked away somewhere too obscure. Nope. So let's go put those in and see what happens. Ah, okay, so that's just that then. So 1 is done, 2 is done. Yep, that matches up so far. We've got the third one, which is this one, and the fourth, which is this. Now, that looked like it was buttons basically activating this modem or similar device, so there are more. We need even more. Yep, even more. They're not going to be too obvious, and we're finding a lot of these decoy boxes lying around. Nope, okay. We'll come back to those in a second. Let's see if we can figure out... So this has symbols on it, but no numbers. Oh, no, it does have numbers on the final, on the second and third dials. Okay, there we go, it's these ones. So not this one. Possibly we could try this one. So we've got 1, 2. I think it's possibly a process of elimination. So the final style basically just has numbers on it. So we can eliminate any code which has a symbol as the third digit. The first dial only has letters or symbols on it, so we can eliminate any code which has a number as the first one. And then the middle one just has a mixture of both, only up to 5 and a handful of symbols. Yep, so again that you can eliminate several others. This could be a bit of an exercise. So we could possibly be there for these two. Now this is what, basically writing it down is the easiest way to do it? Could be. So it could be those two. It can't be this one or this one. My criteria, so the end dial only has numbers. So that these two are out. And the first dial only has symbols. So this is out, out. So it could be that one. And the middle one only goes up to 5. So these two, for example, are out. So that is reasonable, as is the one below it. This one is no good. This one is possible. That's no good, as we said. This one is also likely. This one is an option. And it may be as well, once we get into the symbols, that some of the dials don't have certain symbols on it, which also means we can eliminate those ones as possibilities. That's no good and that's no good. So we have, on the face of it, 8 possible combinations to try, which is a lot less than we started with. So that's not too bad. And then if we check the symbol dial, okay, we can see that it doesn't have this particular symbol on it, so we can cross off those ones of our possible combinations. And it doesn't have, where was that one again, this particular symbol on it, so that one can go too. In fact, it does seem to have this one, and that's it. So actually, we can cross off another one of our list, which leaves us with the first dial. And if we go down that dial, we double check, we can take that one off. Nope, not that one, we'll keep that one on. And we can take this one off. So let me just double check that one more time just to make sure I'm getting the right ones. Right, so those, not this one. Okay, so we'll go back through one more time. So we can try this one. Oh. Okay, right first time. Well, I'm happy with that. So a reasonable bit of deduction based on available options, and managed to narrow this list down quite a lot. Which leaves us with the fourth one, which is this. And it's just basically searching for buttons, quite possibly. Don't think there was a box over here which also required. Now, do we do the whole process over again? We certainly could do. It's going to be slightly more, well, possibly not, as long as we go through the same process methodically like we did last time. Let's get another scrap of paper. I really should have more on my desk. There we go, that will do. So based on the dials that only go up to 5, we can eliminate any option which doesn't have, or which goes over 5 with the numbers. So that's quite a few actually. So we'll start making a quick short list. So that one's out, this one's fine. This is just numbers. They do all have numbers in the dials, so we can't eliminate any that have numbers in particular positions. These two are also possibilities. Yep. This is no good. This is these next two possibilities, and the last one is no good. Okay. That's no good, that's no good. These two are possible options. We've got this one. And these two are out, and then this one at the bottom here. Okay, so now if we look at the dial wheels, they all seem to be exactly the same. Yep, so we can eliminate certain symbols then that don't appear. If we just go through the first dial, we can eliminate certain symbols that don't appear there. So let me see if we've got... Okay, so for example, where was it again? This symbol doesn't appear on any of the dials, so we can take out any code that has that symbol in it. Okay. What else have we got? So again, this symbol doesn't appear on any of the dials, so we can take out any code with that one on it, which is just the one, unfortunately. Well, let's keep going. We can probably narrow it down a bit further, I suspect. So this symbol does not appear. So we're down to 5 possible codes. That's not too bad at all. In fact, we can actually narrow it down a bit further, can we? So we can cross this one off as well. Yep. Which actually leaves us with just the one, which is the all number one, which is going to be 5, 5, and a 3. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I'm not sure going through all that effort for a couple of coins was worth it, but never mind. Well, to be honest, this looks like... Oh, there it is. I was going to say it looks like a good time for a break, and I can go and hunt down the last button or so that I'm probably missing. But this may well do it. So we'll collect those, we will place them in the obligatory receptacle. Ah! Very good. Do have a couple more clues to ponder about based on what these might be worth. So, yep, I think definitely is now a good time for a break. I'm going to have a nice read of all the backstory bits and pieces that I missed and see if there's anything hiding in those. I'll have a think about these clues and how we can possibly use them in some aspect. We've got this to place in the puzzle downstairs, and we can carry on with all that next time. So I'll see you then.